What makes relationships last?
Our relationship has had its ups and downs, but what we've found is good communication holds everything together.
We decided to dedicate time every week to not only strengthen our relationship, but stimulate personal growth.
Strong relationships are built on strong communication.
Welcome to Date Night Conversations.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Date Night Conversations. I'm Chantel.
And I'm Greg.
And in this video, guys, we're going to ask each other 3 questions we have never asked each other before.
So, I love these date night conversations.
I do too.
The questions we ask just make you think on a deeper level. Sometimes they really take you off into like deep conversations. You're like, wait a second, what was the original question? Or even just talking them through, and it really makes you think to come to an answer, right?
It does. So we're like really vibing with these date nights.
So really look forward to these, like every time.
Yeah.
And then, after we've posted it, I love going through the comments. When you guys respond to the questions yourselves, we really look forward to reading your responses.
Yeah, so keep that going, guys. It's awesome. All right, you ready to get into Date Night Conversations episode 21?
21. Hell yes.
All right, let's get into it.
Babe, you got first question.
Okay. What's the last thing you completed on your bucket list? It's easy for both of us. Nothing. Gregory?
Start a YouTube channel?
That wasn't on your bucket list.
It's always been.
Really?
Yeah. And so at the very first lockdown, or was actually going into the very first lockdown, when I started the Albrecht Physique, the tutorials, I always wanted to do that. Remember? And it was something I've been putting off forever. And like, I just got to get started. I got to do something. So I just started working with the tutorials.
Well, how long was that on your bucket list for?
That was
last year's bucket?
No, like forever. As a personal trainer. Are you crazy?
Babe, I honestly didn't know.
Oh my gosh. I am so disappointed.
I'm so sorry.
Because it came to be, when I was talking about, it's one of those things where you just don't want any regrets. It's just, get it started and do it. I would feel so much better because it just keeps running in the back of my head. I should do this. I should do this. So I started with just putting up tutorials of various exercises and stretches that you could do at home, like the ones that are simple and effective. And that's how that started. And then we started drifting over here.
Well, that's amazing. Congrats. Wow, well, that was raw and real. Like, I didn't,
Yeah.
Well, babe, that's good.
So now we have 3 channels.
Oh my goodness. Seriously,
So this is the primary channel.
Right.
But then I have Albrecht Physique, which has sort of been on hold as we've been growing this one. But I have so many ideas for that, so hopefully, as time allows, we'll be able to bring that back into the balance. And then the PBK, Perfectly Blended Kids, the kids channel. So yeah, I think that's amazing. It's anything you wanted to do? That was on bucket list for you?
Well, I started it so long ago, right? Like, it was not, it really
wasn't
wasn't
it was just something you did. It wasn't
right. It wasn't like, I have to complete this. So I'm going to be like really honest with everybody. Like, I haven't completed anything on my bucket list.
I don't think you even had a bucket list. Like, it kind of started with this.
It did. This prompted me to create one.
Yeah, that was one of the first questions, wasn't it? I don't even remember what episode that was.
It was like
top 5 things on your bucket list or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll find it. It'll go up here.
Alright, guys, we're going to turn the question over to you. We'll read the question one more time.
What's the last thing you completed on your bucket list?
Alright, guys, you know what to do. Comment down below. Alright, so let's just move right on to the second question.
Okay. Right. I'll take this one.
Okay.
Question number 2. If I notice that your words and actions are not aligned, what's the best way to let you know?
If my words and actions aren't aligned?
Yes. If I notice that your words and actions are not aligned, what's the best way to let you know?
No one has ever asked me that in my entire life before. I've never been drunk because I don't drink. So I don't know.
Where did that come from?
That's how but words and actions aren't aligned.
Right. When you talk like you do something, but you don't actually do that.
Oh, see? Okay, well, I'm thinking like when I went to the dentist and I got my wisdom tooth
Oh,
pulled.
when you're completely out of your mind.
Yeah, I was like so gone. And it's like, well,
That was the wisdom teeth.
That was the wisdom teeth removal.
Yeah. So when you're under that anesthesia,
I don't do well with
she
anesthesia.
does not do well. Coming out was rough.
I was just thinking like it could be from one end of the spectrum to the other, whether you could be drunk and saying things and your actions aren't meeting up with what you're saying, or it could go the way you were thinking. Oh, I'm gonna do this, but never do it.
In your case, or in the case of somebody who's drunk, there's no way to let them know. Drunk or under the
Okay,
influence
so
of
then
something.
let's look at it from your perspective. Now, if I'm saying that I want to obtain certain goals, but I'm not following through with actions, I would want you to be so straight up with me, like, babe,
Yeah, you know what?
like don't go around the rose bush. Just let me know.
I
Like,
think that's just the level that we're on anyway.
Mhm.
Because if we keep saying we want to do something or that we're going to do something and it's not
Right.
getting done, you get called out.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
Like that's what
Oh, yeah.
happens.
for sure.
No, you keep saying it, you got to do it. Just start doing it.
Yeah.
Like just start making steps towards it. And so I think we actually kind of push each other that way.
Yeah, we do. Just be straight up.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. Like and early, like you don't wait till it's been going on and now you're irritated
Yes.
from hearing it over and over.
Yeah.
Like if we say, like I want to do this or I want to do, like we actually have a board. So if you want to do it, put it on the board.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that
We have
whole whiteboard.
multiple systems that we're working
Yeah,
with, like the
exactly.
computer or a notebook or journal, the board. So it's all over.
If you're gonna talk it,
Yeah.
write it down, and that way we can both see it and be like, hey, remember this, remember that. Like it's actually making it real. So that's it.
Yeah.
What's the best way to let you know? Just
Yeah.
be straight up when you notice, and then that helps keep me. Yeah, if I'm saying that's what I want to do, then please help me do that, and I totally appreciate that.
Same here.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to turn it over to you. I'll read the question one more time. If I notice that your words and actions are not aligned, what's the best way to let you know? All right, guys, you know what to do. Drop a comment down below. And we're on to the third question.
Yeah, last
Final question. Yeah.
You're up.
Ooh. All right. Describe a time or situation where you felt screwed over. What happened and how did you respond?
Situation where I was screwed over.
When you sold your car and that guy was supposed to turn the license plate and then you went to the DMV.
Oh my gosh.
And
that
I
was
felt
such a
you ready.
hassle.
Oh, and I told you.
Okay, let's go with that one. Because, so basically, this was years ago. I had sold a car, and
It wasn't just a car. It was a Land Rover.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Land Rover.
it was kind of like a classic Land Rover.
Mhm.
It was in good condition, and it had some things that needed to be fixed. And at the time, I just didn't have the money to put into it. So I'm like, you know what, I just got to sell it. And when the guy came and I was talking to him, he's like, man, the problem is I got to get it to this gas station. Would you mind leaving it plated? And I'm like, I don't have a problem doing that at all. Leave the plates on, but it's going to come off, the day after tomorrow. I'm going to cancel everything on it. So would you mind just returning the plates to me? Because it's not that far. And he's like, oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, I never got my plates back. So anyways, I'm at the DMV because I had a fine that I had to pay. I can't remember what that ticket was for. And then she asked me, which one are you paying on? I'm like, wait, what?
I was with him.
Which fine are you paying? I'm like, okay, what are we talking about right now? And there was like a $500 fine, and I can, like, what? Okay, now I'm starting to I've got this guy's address, and I've just got all these things running through my mind because he lives way far away. The shop was close to where he bought it from me, like close to my house at the time. But he actually lives like an hour away, way up north. And then he ends up there, he's like, oh, you can come pick up the plates anytime, I'll leave them on the porch. That's where it came after he said he would drop them off, yeah. So
Because he wanted the car, so it's whatever to get it. That is
so once he got,
special.
yeah, that's how that was. He's like, oh, you can pick them up sorry man, I'm back home up north, but you can pick them up from the shop because I won't be back out your way. And then I'm like, you can pick them up from the shop. And then I'm like, okay, is the car still at the shop? He's like, oh no, they're on my porch. The license plates are on the porch. And he gave me his address.
Did you end up going to get it?
No, it turned out that it was somebody with the same name, not the same plates at the DMV.
Right.
It was, because my mind jumped right to, this dude is using these plates and went and got a ticket. And now it's on me? And I'm like, what's the date? What's the date? I'm trying to match it up, like when... Like,
yeah, when you sold it to
like, was he driving to offshore and got a ticket on it? Like, what? And yeah, all these things are just going through my mind. And then it turned out, oh, wait a second, sorry, it's somebody else with the same like, there's first initial, last name or something, but that one's not you. Sorry, I'll make a note here so that doesn't happen again. But the way I got so worked up.
Yeah,
like,
I felt it. Like it's so weird feeling your like anger. Like you just radiate. Like everyone in the room will get warm if you're mad like that. Like it's like, oh
that
my
is
gosh.
such a rare occurrence.
Oh, it's
like
so rare.
when has it happened since then?
Never.
Right. I don't let things get to me, and people don't, like, that just doesn't happen. And it was just, the thing is, nothing really bad happened. Like, I didn't get to return the plates. Not a big deal. I let the DMV know I don't have those plates anymore.
Right.
They're missing. But, so nothing bad happened with it. It was more of getting worked up in the what could have happened, but it didn't.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Because it's funny because you'd be saying, like, oh man, you gotta get those plates back, you don't know what he could be doing. Like that kind of stuff. And then I end up at the DMV and they tell, oh my God. But in the end.
Be careful. Yeah. It all worked out.
I was still, yeah, so I didn't get my plates back. That was the extent of being screwed over. And how did you respond? In the end, it was just like this. But I just went through all those emotions really for nothing. Just let it go. It's just plates. It was like $20 if you return them?
Yeah. Because you get a new license plate anyway when you got a new vehicle, so it was like, hey,
Yeah,
whatever.
It
wasn't worth the travel or the argument.
No, but it was all the hassle and the emotion
rage.
I went through, so that was what happened and how I had to
deal with it.
Responded, yeah. It was a learning experience. All right, that's mine.
Like there was a time that, you know, I really invested in a friend and they were supposed to come over and I got all prepared.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Bought things for them to host and they didn't even call to say, hey, I'm not gonna make it.
There we go.
And I already spent like the day prepping for them, like scheduling, doing things a certain way because I'm expecting somebody to come over. And not even to say, hey, I'm not coming. I had to actually call them like, are you coming like an hour and a half later? And they're like,
oh, sorry.
They gave me such a silly excuse.
There we go.
And I'm like, that totally screwed me over. Like my whole day was planned around you and you couldn't tell me that we need to reschedule.
So you're kind of like getting blown off for something else.
Yeah.
Though, like when there's
like how unfair. But how I dealt with it and how it made me feel, like I felt screwed over. But I just told them, like, man, like...
Yeah, you just straight up.
Don't do that. Like, I value my time. I value your time. I don't do that stuff to you.
The whole family schedule is being adjusted to accommodate right now.
Yeah.
So something, like, who does that? It's just something that you wouldn't do.
I wouldn't do it. But I know things happen, and I'm a very forgiving person, and I just move forward. It's just whatever. But, I mean... Facts. That's something that happens to me.
Situation.
Right. I won't. Yeah. Exactly. And that's it.
At least with that person.
Right.
Yeah. So that's like putting the respect out there and giving a person the benefit of the doubt. And here's your opportunity. And you don't even think that they might not come through.
Right.
You just know that they'll be there, and then they're not.
Yeah. And
that's a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
But that someone would actually do that. Like, whoa. And then the reason is something. It's not like.
It's not a valid reason. It's
I was watching my favorite show. I totally lost track of time. I was doing groceries. What was it? I don't know. But yeah, it'd be something.
Oh, funny enough, that reminds me when I bought something off Facebook Marketplace, and I went to this person's house, and I rang the doorbell, and I stood outside for like 3 to 5 minutes, and the person comes to the door and is like, oh, sorry, my favorite show is on.
Oh my gosh, that happened?
Yes. And I'm
wow.
So we're
I would
in a
almost
time.
just turn around and walk away.
The thing is, it was
Oh,
to buy the
man.
kids' kitty Zoom, so I couldn't walk and turn away because we couldn't find that anywhere. So anyhow, I was just like, wow, there's so many different people out here. And some people just don't get it and are so rude. And it's just like, whatever. I don't put focus on it, but it did happen. And it happened to me for a reason. Like, I learned something from it,
It's
right?
like a contrasting experience. Like,
It really is, but you reminded me when you said
you know what?
watching a favorite TV show or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember you actually telling me that.
Because you drove me there.
Like, what is taking so long?
But you could see me standing outside, right?
Yeah, it was winter. It wasn't like...
That too! It's cold outside. And I'm just like, we're in an age where things are digital. You can pause, stop, fast forward, rewind things on the computer. Like, there was no reason to take that long. I honestly thought the person was in the shower or they didn't hear. So I rang the doorbell 2 times, but the time between the two was like I rang it once. I waited about a minute because I'm not a person to go ding, 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 ding. Why aren't they answering? Ding, 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 ding. No, I go ding and I'll wait because I feel like I should only have to ring once.
You know what? I don't personally, only because I was a messenger.
Mm-hmm.
I would ring the doorbell, give it a few, and then knock. Like, I wouldn't wait very long. Like, okay, I'm trying another approach. Second one is the knock. Maybe the doorbell's not working.
Yeah.
You can feel that.
But like it was crazy. So anyways, it actually was a mail that came to the door. The wife said, I'm gonna leave it with my husband because I gotta go to work, so my husband will give you the item, the
Oh, so
kitty
the
Zoom."
husband was watching this here too?
Yeah, and he walks up, he's like, I am so sorry. My favorite show was on. And
What show was it?
Yeah, you asked that same question then. I didn't ask because I didn't
shoot.
care.
That's my first go-to.
Yes.
I told you.
But he was super friendly. He's like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. My favorite show's on, and I was just into my show.
Really interesting.
I didn't care.
I'd be like,
I'm just like,
okay,
let's go.
I can totally appreciate
I
that.
couldn't
man.
appreciate anything. No, because everything right now in this day and age can be fast forward or rewound. So there's no.
What if he's watching a live game? There's no game.
Whatever.
Okay.
There's no need. And the thing is, he knew the time I was coming. There were specifics.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse for that.
Why wasn't it a porch pickup?
I don't think you want to leave that on the porch. That was selling like a hot item.
True.
Christmas, right?
Christmas.
It's pretty expensive. It's those kitty Zoom critter cameras for kids. They retail for about maybe $80 plus tax. But at the time we were looking for it, they were
they're overpriced, yeah, because they
120
it was
bucks,
that unavailable
$200
Christmas
item.
present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, that was my experience. But anyways, I kind of went off course there, but you're
Yeah.
right. So, all right, let's work back to these guys. Let's read them the question one more time, babe.
Describe a time or situation where you felt screwed over. What happened and how did you respond?
All right, guys, go ahead and answer that question. You know what to do. Drop a comment down below. All right, so that is the end of Date Night Conversations episode 21. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was. All right, guys, we love interacting with you. We can't wait to see some of the comments you guys have to these questions. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.